As we continue to focus on the coronavirus pandemic here on Eyewitness News at 9, we're also focusing on your concerns and questions about the virus. Dr. David Schultz with Evansville Primary Care joins me again tonight to answer many of your questions. Dr. Schultz, thanks for being with us again tonight. Let's talk about telemedicine. It really became popular after the pandemic began. What is telemedicine?
Brandon, telemedicine is an additional tool that we physicians have to help provide health care to others. And whereas in times past, it was really not sure how we would get reimbursed for doing our work with telemedicine, after the pandemic has started here in America, it's been shown to be a very helpful instrument to help bring medicine to people at their homes and other places. The way it works is typically an individual will call in, we will hook them up via Skype or through Zoom or one of the other services, and then we're able to have a communication one with the other and actually see the person we're talking to. The advantage of this is you're able to communicate in live, real time, and try to get answers to some of the medical problems they may have.
So this is actually video. You can see the patient and they can see you.
It really is, and the neat thing about that is it provides two-way communications, so you can have that interaction. And as a physician, interaction with a patient is very important and so forth.
Absolutely. Some people may probably wonder, is a telemedicine visit as good as an in-person office visit?
Well, most of us physicians who have practiced 20 years or more, like myself, we prefer seeing the person face-to-face. But it is a good substitute when either a barrier exists to keep that person from coming into the office. And if you think about some of the areas where there's physician shortages, it can actually provide access to health care in those areas in a very timely manner.
Now, can you only treat certain issues using telemedicine?
Really, most issues can be at least addressed and so forth. And so as a physician, the history is the most important part of the entire exam. But there are some things that are limited. For example, looking in an individual's ear, also checking a person's blood pressure and so forth, that's limited. But if an individual has a blood cuff monitor like a sphygmomanometer, or if they have a pulse oximeter at home where they can measure oxygen, then we could actually get some of that additional data that's helpful in the visit.
Now, who is more likely to use telemedicine? Is it more people, maybe a younger generation that's a little more savvy with smartphones, or are you seeing just a lot of different people using it?
Well, Brandon, the younger people, of course, are much better at doing this and getting access at this. But our older individuals have really surprised me because, again, they have been very resourceful and adaptable. And I think our older generations that watch in the tri-state area, I think all of us would agree, they're very adaptable.
You mentioned this briefly, but at an in-person office visit, I'd have my blood pressure, my temperature, and oxygen levels checked. How does that work with telemedicine?
Well, the disadvantage of telemedicine is we can't reach out and check those things ourselves, and that really places that visit at a disadvantage. Again, most of us physicians would argue that a face-to-face visit is the best visit a person could obtain, but telemedicine at least provides a plan B for when that's not available. Now, interestingly enough, there are some areas that's very remote and rural around the United States where actually they can set up mobile clinical devices that can assist with this. And then it plugs into a computer that it's sent over the internet, and the physician, maybe hundreds of miles away, can actually look into a person's ear, can listen to the person's heart with the adapters that's sent through the companies that offer this. And in fact, in Alaska, in some place where medicine is really distant, there's actually video monitoring and surgical assistance that can help a family doctor, for example, perform surgery in some of the remote areas of Alaska and in some of the other rural areas.
Wow, that is amazing. Great information again tonight. Dr. David Schultz with Evansville Primary Care. Thanks so much for being with us again tonight.